Hello and welcome to the Banker's Tech Talk video series looking at developments in the world of fintechs. I'm Joy Macknight, Deputy and Technology Editor at The Banker, and I'm joined by Steve Compton, Advisor at AiX, an artificial intelligence broker. Steve, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Morning.
Can you tell me a little bit about AiX and how it uses artificial intelligence to sort of disrupt the voice brokerage model, but then also why is it that the interdealer broker model is really up for disruption?
Okay, well, let me take the second question first. And the interdealer broker model has pretty much been in existence for the last 3 decades and has barely changed during that time. Now, we've seen, obviously, some of the most liquid markets move to electronic trading, but still voice negotiation through an interdealer broker is highly prevalent. And as new markets have developed, it's become, or continues to be, the preferred source of trade negotiation. That model is very manually intensive. Probably the major technological improvement that we've seen has been moving from the telephone to instant messaging, and that's been the full extent of it. So you have a model where a trader wants to execute a particular transaction anonymously, picks up a phone or uses an instant messaging system to relay that interest to his broker, who then communicates that to other brokers of the same company, who communicates it to other traders. And through that whole manual process, they try to match prices and arrange a trade. That has a number of limitations to it. First of all, because it's actually quite a complex job to do well. You need highly skilled, experienced people to do it, which makes them expensive. It tends to be linked to a single market, so you will have brokers that specialize in one particular underlying. It tends to be manual in terms of the ticketing process and the ongoing trade confirmation. It tends to be relatively slow because there's a lot of information that needs to be juggled. At times, it can be somewhat opaque as well. So what AiX does is AiX harnesses the power of artificial intelligence, and we have exclusive use of the Rainbow cognitive reasoning engine for this particular purpose, to take instructions from traders and in real time distribute that interest to the marketplace and bring back those prices to that trader almost instantaneously. And we can do that as I said, because we use probably the most sophisticated cognitive reasoning engine in the market today, which models human logic, but then can bring in all range of data sources in real time, not just the particular instrument you're looking to transact, but thousands of different data points from across the market. Apply that to the logic that's already in the system and find the optimal way to execute that transaction.
Okay, and I just wanted to interrupt you to say, like, obviously AiX also is dealing both in the cryptocurrencies now as well as the traditional markets. How do you bridge that?
Well, for us, it's the same technology. I think what we want to do is we want to ensure that we have the same functionality, the same level of service, the same delivery to all traders across all markets. And so in the same way that you might use our system to bridge the gap between trading a US government bond and translating the proceeds of that into the euro, for example, you could similarly trade out of Bitcoin into an iron ore swap. So what our technology has been designed to do from the outset, and I think that's one of the things that makes it unique, is to actually be indiscriminate, if you like, in terms of which underlying and which platform you trade on, to be all-encompassing so that traders can actually access all the markets that they want to trade, including cryptocurrencies, on the same platform.
Okay, and you also use blockchain for anti-money laundering and KYC. How does that work, actually?
I think, yeah, we use blockchain even more extensively than that, and it's a very key component of our offering. So specifically for KYC and for anti-money laundering, we use third-party providers for client onboarding, and all of that onboarding information is then stored immutably in blockchain so that anyone that is participating on our platform knows that their counterpart has been approved and is trusted. But we use blockchain in another way as well, which I think was actually one of the most exciting things when I first learned about the company, which is that when we use our cognitive reasoning engine, I think people worry that when you start using artificial intelligence, is this machine going to run away with you, and do you really know what it's up to? What we can do, and what we do with our engine and with blockchain, is that we store every single step in the negotiation process forever on blockchain. And that's not just what was said, what was typed, and what trade finally got done. It's also every single step in that reasoning engine's logic that determined how that decision was made, why that price request to that counterparty was made, how that outcome was arrived at. And I think that that provides functionality and value that no human interaction can ever really compete with.
Okay. Thank you so much for your insights, Steve.
Okay. Been my pleasure. Thank you very, very much.